we've been hearing from all sorts of people who've obviously been watching the sessions and have come up and shared what they've thought about things, and particular review that we need to be emphasising the positive, and you were on the more on the warning side this afternoon. Was there anything you felt you wanted to elaborate on that you couldn't have got into your very short keynote?
Oh, blimey. Whoa, yes. An awful lot of things. I think it possibly not... I mean, the negative side, I hate, in a way, being associated with the negative side, but I mean, I would rather have more balance, but, it's a bit of a game, isn't it, with the keynotes. I mean, obviously technology creates opportunities, and obviously there are interesting things. I'm currently... project that I'm working on involving cloud technology is extremely satisfying and exciting, and I can see lots and lots of potential. But I do think that, and I mean, why I like Fote as opposed to any other sort of tech conference is because it takes place in education. It's this kind of mixture of industry people and education technology people. Is that we really do need to do a lot of critical thinking about technology and not so much let it happen to us. And I think institutional IT departments are possibly in the letting it happen to us game a little bit too much. And I think institutional strategy is often very reactive in its engagement with technology. I mean, I would point to MOOCs as being an example of where university leadership has very rarely thought through a MOOC strategy. They've just gone and done it because everyone else has one. As a result, something that could potentially have been a very exciting way of broadening the reach of institutions and education has kind of stalled and has preached to the converted rather than opened up anything significant. And I think that's it's kind of ironic to me that the modern IT revolution, the internet, started in academia. I mean, I remember, donkey's years ago now, sending emails on my little flickery green Unix, I think it was the DEC terminal. And yet, as the internet has become mainstream, as it's become consumerized, as it has become ubiquitous on people's laptops and mobile phones, that is at precisely the moment that institutions have kind of faltered and haven't come up with responses. And I mean, a lot of those responses that they have come up with have been really bad. The sort of ban mobile phones in classrooms rather than think about exciting ways to teach with mobile technology was a really bad step. But it's beyond, to me, it's beyond the sort of practice of learning and teaching. And it's about institutional strategy and how that institutional strategy can help inform a 21st century education. We always talk about the sort of, the skills that are needed by the 21st century knowledge worker, and how, to an extent, a lot of those skills are unshaped. I mean, we don't know, because the world is changing. We don't know what those skills are, but we do know that there's a kind of particular mindset. I mean, to do with debugging is a fashionable term at the moment, but I mean, it's to do with problem solving, to do with thinking on your feet, to do with co-creation and collaborative work, to do with diversity and embracing difference rather than being, fazed by it and seeking to command and control. And so we know all of those things, and yet, look at our education institutions. To what extent do they mirror those virtues? And to what extent is that embedded in institutional strategy? I mean, institutions will talk about diversity of their student body, but what they really mean is, can we have lots of rich Chinese students signing up on our courses? And it's kind of, walking the walk. It's getting beyond the talking the talk, and it's walking the walk is the thing that both concerns me, and I mean, it's a genuine concern, but I think also right now is very exciting. I mean, it excites me because some people will get it right, and that will be really interesting, that will be really exciting.
Fantastic. So has there been anything that's come up either the first session this morning or during the panel that you were part of that you either didn't expect to be raised or that particularly interested you about some of the points being made?
One of the points that stood out for me was in the first panel was the point about job descriptions.
Yes.
And describing technology work. I think that's there's a whole, you could really drill down on that. I mean, in the work that I do, helping young people get first step in the IT industry, then I do a lot of reading job descriptions in order to kind of understand the skills and experience that my volunteers need to be exposed to. And uniformly, public sector, private sector, those job descriptions are terrible.
Yes.
I mean, they're badly written. They poorly express the requirements and the objectives. And yes, and I mean, this whole shopping. And imagine if you actually applied good interview practice to it. Where you've got 200 competencies and you're going to test each one. You'd have the candidate there for a month, and it's completely crazy. And I mean, I think IT employers, particularly institutional employers, really need to give some thought to this. And I mean, from my perspective, I would always much rather employ someone who's a good communicator, who has good interpersonal skills, who has a sort of natural ease with people, and then train them how the help desk system works, than employ someone who is familiar with issue tracking systems and train them how to talk to girls.
Quite. So, I mean, in other walks of life, I've seen studies. I mean, I do some work for in the digital creation space, editing a journal, and there have been papers published there where they've looked at the job description text, and they've done some analysis of what kinds of jobs are being advertised, what are they looking for, in order to work out sort of what are the skills that universities are requiring at the moment in that particular field. Have you seen any studies where people have started to do that kind of analysis of job descriptions, or is that still an area where it would be really useful to get a better grip of what they're doing?
I think, I mean, yes. I mean, there is some analysis and there is academic research in it. I think getting it into the coalface, so to speak, getting it into the HR departments, and also I know a lot of the rubbish job descriptions are really ill-informed reactions to legal and regulatory issues. And, oh God, we don't want to say something that we can get sued over. And I think there's a whole lot in there, isn't there, about professionalising the recruiting process. That is, I mean, I think it's a long way off, and I think technology in a way acts as a bit of a lightning rod for that because it's novel. It has novel experiential requirements. Then you kind of see it more clearly. But I mean, I have kind of come to wonder. Is this are we creating general problems here that as employers we obviously, what we want is the best candidate, but can we be sure that the best candidate is even drawn to apply?
Right, excellent. So there's still work to be done. I will let you go and grab a coffee because I think we are probably going to start back again very shortly. We've got some pictures to listen to at 2:30, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. So thank you very much for joining us, and I'll hope to chat with you a bit later as well if we get time. So thank you.